In our previous video, we promised you a tour of Green Island, and we're going to give you just that. But we also wanted to share with you what ended up being, for us, this discovery of a darker side of Taiwan's history, the New Life Correction Facility. Ready?
Let's go! Decided to spend a week visiting Green Island. This place was highly recommended by local Taiwanese and foreigners alike. And even though our visit was during the Lunar New Year, this place still did not disappoint.
First morning on the island. What's the plan?
Maybe we can drive around the island, get a feel for how large it actually is.
Or small.
Or small it actually is. Pick out some points to maybe take some pictures. Though there are many attraction spots that were advertised on the island, we found the island itself to be the attraction due to all the natural beauty and charm. It's only 21 kilometers all around, and we still could not get enough of the breathtaking views.
Because it's so small, you're almost always by the water's edge. The beaches are mostly crushed coral or volcanic rock.
That is so light.
That just leads us to another point of interest with Green Island, and that's snorkeling and scuba diving.
It's one of the main reasons why people come to Green Island.
And then you have all of these amazing rock formations. There are caves to be explored as well. And then our favorite thing,
hiking.
It's nice to get up early enough to beat the crowds out. Now granted, we are on an island during a holiday, and we know that almost all of the island is sold out. So having this opportunity to go hiking by ourselves, which the introvert behind me, Leah, she's really keen on. Come on, Leah! You can do it! Down below, you can see a very unique hot spring. There are actually 3 pools right there, and it's all salt water, only 1 of 3 in the whole world. But the pools out there in the tidal zone have been closed off for winter, so I don't think we'll be visiting. Like Leah said, we could hardly get enough of all this natural beauty, and we spent a lot of time out in it. But we did finally decide to go be a tourist and check out one of the true tourist sites. And that was the New Life Correction Center. Who would have thought that a tour of a concentration camp would make us have a greater appreciation for Taiwan? Because
that was our very last day on the island, and I think that we had planned on doing, some sightseeing and one more tour around. We spent the entire day at that museum. We spent the entire day. We read every single thing that was in that museum that was available for us to read. We read from front to back.
We were learning a lot. Well, the lighting is legit lighting, right? I'm left with the impression that this was a self-sustaining facility. A production unit, vegetable gardens, rope weaving machine, collecting reef rocks by the seaside. They built their own facility and then had to be imprisoned in that same facility. It seems the objective of all of this intense laboring was to make sure that the prisoners were too exhausted to even think about the outside world. This is a lot to take in. We're learning a lot, but essentially this place was a political indoctrination prison that was meant to squash out any kind of communist sympathizers that may have existed during KMT rule. The main purpose of this facility was the disengagement of communist thought. I mean, it was like for ideological transformation of people who may have sympathized with socialist China or communist China, rather. So many of these people weren't even actually politicized people or even knew much about communism and actually learned more about it while being imprisoned than they did prior to being imprisoned.
I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that everything that we've been reading about is like not that long ago.
Yeah, this started in the 1950s.
Yeah, even the time that martial law was no longer established.
Yeah, it was like
a couple years.
1987.
Yeah.
You said that this was a highlight, or for us, and it certainly was, because while it was kind of heavy, and while the mood changed, and while the weather was certainly fitting the mood, we just wanted more and more and more of the information that we were getting, because we had no idea there was this dark 40-year period of white terror in Taiwan. What made it a highlight for you? Why would you say that that was the best part of Green Island as opposed to all of the natural wonder that we saw?
I think it speaks to the Taiwan that we know now and the democracy that Taiwan has put in place because of what they've learned from their history. I personally find it refreshing because, in America, we've had a lot of atrocities that have happened in our country, but not necessarily something that America takes responsibility for. History is more like, well, that happened and it's too bad.
Let's not stay there. Why we got to keep talking about that?
Get over it. Get over it. We learn from it.
I mean, to think about this, martial law ended in 1987, and the first free, open presidential elections didn't happen until 1996. I was 2 years into my DJ career trying to make a name for myself in St. Louis. And Taiwan was really just beginning to start its true democracy. That's impressive. For all of this boasting that America does for being this great example of democracy, I'd say Taiwan would give it a run for its money. It's really put in perspective that this is a young democracy, and I can kind of see now why certain governments within the global stage might feel threatened by Taiwan's democracy. And I don't know why or how we could help Taiwan be better recognized on a global scale. I don't know what we can do. We can make videos like this, I guess, and try to say it's fantastic, but really there's hopefully there's something more that we can do. I think that's a lot of what we've taken away from going to this museum, this memorial. We don't have any footage to share with you of the actual memorial itself because, well, by the time we got in there, we were just tired of recording and we just wanted to take in the scenery, because the memorial is set on a beautiful space and it does have a beautiful outlook over the ocean, even though it commemorates such a dark and troublesome time of Taiwan's past.
While this was not exactly the vacation that we had planned when we went to Green Island, it still has again left us with more appreciation for the Taiwan people, for who they are, what they've learned, and what we learned.
So Leah likes to ask you a question at the end of all of our videos.
When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Like visit a concentration camp? Remember, it's never too late to get up, get out, and get gone.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video.